This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Sunday, October the 31st. Happy Halloween, everyone. Is race number 10 at Santa Anita. Here's the field for the Twilight Derby. 3-year-olds going 1.1 miles on the turf. Grade 2. Pretty interesting race, Mike. There looks like there's speed. I mean, you've got Rock Your World in this race, switching back to turf. He is a very capable horse, winner of the Santa Anita Derby, but he started his career on turf like he would be very good on that surface.
Yeah, true enough. I actually much prefer him as a turf horse. We'll see if, all the recent dirt racing has, caught up to this horse a little bit. I mean, I think on paper, it looks like perhaps he's every bit as good on the main track as he is on turf, but I actually much prefer this horse on this surface.
And we know he likes to be forwardly placed. We'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race. And Rock Your World, the 8, expected to make the lead. Timeform US believes the pace will be fast. Beyond Brilliant was a gate-to-wire winner last time out, but he sort of controlled slow fractions in that race. I don't think he's as fast as Rock Your World. I think there's a chance that Rock Your World could actually get clear and set reasonable fractions.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I guess we'll see, just because Beyond Brilliant has, drawn a tough outside post. We'll see if, DeSormo decides he has to get aggressive. I guess that could heat things up. But otherwise, I sort of agree with you. I think Rock Your World's the faster horse.
If the pace falls apart, however, the number 1 Flashiest boasts an extremely strong late kick. We saw that on opening day of the Del Mar summer meeting when he rallied from dead last to win the Oceanside. He was very aggressively placed at Saratoga over the summer. Then he came back in the Del Mar Derby, Mike, and tell us about that trip, because I thought it was a little bit tricky.
Yeah, well, I mean, more than anything else, in that kind of a race where there were, I think that's definitely a race that's worth going back to watch. It was a big field. It felt like there were a lot of trips in that race. I don't think Flashiest, had some kind of impossible trip, but, being drawn out in post 13 that day really did not help his chances. He got caught wide around the track. He made a move around the second turn on the far outside, and I thought he stayed on very gamely through the stretch. The winner of that race, who's also back in here, saved every inch of ground and got through on the rail. The other horses that were up close at the finish all came up the inside in that race. And I felt like this horse was pretty badly compromised by his post and his trip.
The number 2 is Subconscious, the son of Tappet. He's won his last 2 races. It was nice to see him rate last time out. He had to rate. Let's watch that race. The pace was blazing up front. Subconscious sat in mid-pack, came to the outside, and he wins despite failing to change leads. He's going to have to stretch out 1 1/8 miles, Mike. He has the versatility, though, to work out a good trip.
He does. And that certainly played to his benefit here. As you mentioned, the pace got heated in front of him. Not only was it fast, it was contested, and he just sat off it, moved on those horses around the second turn. He was much the best at the end. He didn't change leads there. He didn't change leads 2 back when he broke his maiden that day on the front end. I'll tell you what, though, Dan, he sort of looks to me like a horse who's getting better with every race. And I think there's more upside here. This is a way tougher spot for him, but I won't be surprised if he does well.
Zaffarelli, the number 3 Irish bred, European trained, has now raced twice in North America. Has found trouble both times, Mike.
Yeah, he has. I think he's run well in both of those races. I think he's a major player in here. Sort of feels like the race 2 back where he got placed first. That might have actually even been his fault that he got into that trouble there, trying to come through a hole that may not have been there. His race last time, I think it's, I don't know if you agree with this or not. I'll be interested to get your take on his performance there. I felt like he never got fully clear through the stretch. I thought it was hard to tell, Dan. He never got stopped, but he never was fully clear either. I feel like he could have been closer.
I think he could have been a little closer. I don't think he would have won the race, but I do think that he would have been closer. And I do think he's just the kind of horse. He's probably a little tricky to ride. He likes to get covered up, but I'd like to see him actually get into the clear and come with a run. He might get that opportunity in this race if the pace is hot and everything is strung out early. Hudson Ridge, the 4, is kind of like the 2 Subconscious. Nice tactical speed. Utilize that speed to win that optional claiming race 3 starts back, placed second via DQ in the La Jolla. Last time out in the Del Mar Derby, I don't know, Mike. I thought the trip was there. He was a little bit eager. I was a little disappointed. I wonder if he's peaked already.
I wonder about that too. We'll see. I think he is a contender in here, if only because I feel like he can get a better trip. I mean, I guess ultimately, Dan, last time it just didn't necessarily work out completely in his favor. I don't want to make too many excuses for him, but once he got beaten to the lead early, he was sort of getting bounced around down on the rail the first time through the stretch. And then he's just another one who never, he never really came clear last time in that race. I don't think he was going to win, but he didn't get a great trip.
The horse that did get the great trip got the win. That was the 5, None Above the Law. Let's watch his victory in the Del Mar Derby. This is a hardy horse. He's already run 14 times, 6 lifetime victories, but as you see, he's in the pocket in a perfect spot. The inside opens up. He shoots on through. And again, folks, go back and watch this race, whether you're here on our Race of the Day video or in your free Formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page, and scout out the trips of these horses.
Yeah, it's going to be very important when you're trying to decipher who you want back out of that Del Mar Derby last time. Personally, for me, it's not this horse. And not because he isn't any good, and not because I don't think he can win here, Dan, but, it's pretty clear going back and watching that race that he got the best trip and he really took advantage last time.
Wooten Asseth, the number 6, likes this 9 furlong distance, winner of the Virginia Derby last time out. It was a race in which I thought he did some good things. There wasn't a ton of pace on. He came with a solid run. The runner-up, a useful horse, came back to run 3rd in the Jockey Club Derby at Belmont with a 90 buyer. A horse that doesn't have the upside of, say, a Subconscious, but a horse that would benefit from a good pace up front.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's very interested in here. And if he's around that morning line price, definitely a horse I'm going to use. I just feel like he's getting better with every race there. And I liked his Virginia Derby. Maybe that wasn't, the strongest field in the world, but it wasn't a terrible field. And even though he got a really good trip in that race overall, I like the fact that when that pace really started to pick up around the second turn, that this horse was able to hold his position. I mean, those middle fractions, they went 23-1, then 23-2 in the middle of that race, and he did not lose any ground. And once he got out into the clear, I like the way he finished.
Cathkin Peak, the number 7, I think is a bit of an upset chance here. I like the way he won his races as a 2-year-old for Phil D'Amato. Now, he's obviously had his share of problems because his 2021 season has been somewhat abbreviated, but this is going to be his 3rd start back, and I think he's racing himself back into shape. One of the horses that finished 4th in the Del Mar Derby behind that perfect trip winner.
Yeah, he is another horse who, managed to save a lot of ground in that race. He never left the rail. But, as they were running through the stretch there, especially the late stages, he was sort of behind the winner and maybe had a little bit of trouble coming clear. He's another one, Dan. I feel like overall, the trip was a pretty good one. He did his best with it. I thought he was an okay 4th, but I feel like he has to take another step forward.
Santa Anita Derby winner Rock Your World, very ambitiously placed after winning that Grade 1 on the dirt. Kentucky Derby, Belmont, 2nd to Medina Spirit in the Shared Belief last time out, but he's 2 for 2 on turf, including this victory in his 2nd lifetime start, the Pasadena, going a mile on the turf. And Rock Your World actually showed the willingness to sit off of a horse, kind of speed crazy a little bit on the dirt, but he sat in here and he eventually was able to get the better of Cathkin Peak. Good performance.
Yeah, this was good. He stays very gamely here. You're right. Just staying out there. That was Cathkin Peak actually to his inside there. He had that horse sort of pinned over behind the leader and maybe took advantage of it a little bit there, but he got clear at the end. I like the way he finished it, Dan. Again, he's okay on dirt. I like him better on the surface.
Jungle Cry is a nice, consistent horse taking a step up in class. He's been on the board in 70% of his races, including a 91 buyer effort last time out at Golden Gate. Let's watch that race right now. I thought he got a nice trip in here. He has the tactical speed, again, to work out those sort of trips. He is in behind horses here. He's going to turn into the lane. He saved ground early, going to get the split. He's going to come with a run. He's just going to miss.
Yeah, he runs fine in here. I agree with you, though. The trip really worked out for him. Maybe it's you could say it's not ideal to have to come through on the inside. I thought it worked out well for him, and he was only 2nd best, but it was a pretty big step in the right direction.
Beyond Brilliant is a horse that began his career on turf with a couple of bang-up efforts, ran on the dirt, was a runaway maiden winner on that surface. I think he's equally good on the turf, and he got the right setup last time out at Del Mar for John Sheriffs. Let's watch that race. Kent DeZormo just backed down the fractions. Great ride. Got this horse to the front, slowed it down, but I did like the way he kicked away from his pace rival the last 3/16 of a mile. I think this was a nice confidence booster for a horse who goes out for a barn. Historically, their runners continue to improve with maturity and distance.
Yeah, I agree with all the stuff that you said about this race. He looks good winning it. He did have a pretty soft trip early. When they came to challenge him around the second turn, he had plenty left and just sort of ran away from that field. He ran well last time. This is going to be way tougher.
Well, let's take a look at our top picks for the Twilight Derby. And I like the way Beyond Brilliant won last time out. I do think that he's going to be a square price in this race. And I think it's all about whether he's going to be caught up chasing a fast pace. If Rock Your World goes and Beyond Brilliant's chasing much faster fractions than last time, he could be in trouble. But to me, this is a spread, and it's a spread. We have 8 different horses. You're going with Flashiest from off the pace. He's shown a strong kick.
Yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of different horses could win here. I've been a fan of Flashiest. I'm going to stick with him here. I like that he moves inside now. Maybe he can finally save some ground in this race, and then come with his patented big late finish. And I also like Wooten Asset Day, and I'm going to use that horse if he's around his morning line.
7 different horses. We both have Rock Your World in there as the horse to beat. Flashiest. Mike's hoping to kick him down in the lane. 1638, Beyond Brilliant at a price 10,289 for me. Wide open, grade 2, Twilight Derby, your Sunday race of the day. Download those free formulator past performances. Good luck.